And as soon as you do open the doors to some of these places, between the views and the surrounding areas and the different features from the fireplaces in winter, and it's pretty special to create that for someone.
Hi everyone, this is Dani Valent here with you, and I hope you are ready and excited for Dirty Linen, the podcast where we talk food, travel, all the good things to eat and drink along the way. If you've been hanging with us for the last few days, you will know that we are up in Victoria's beautiful high country, exploring the region in and around Bright, and just finding out so much about all the things there are to do in this beautiful part of the world. Of course, when you spend a few days somewhere, you need a great place to stay. And we're actually recording this podcast in Little Olive Cabin, which is one of the fantastic spots that is offered by Bright Boutique Accommodation. We're chatting with the woman behind it all. Her name is Priscilla Williamson, and it is an absolute delight to welcome you to the podcast, Priscilla.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
Well, tell me about where we're sitting, because it is very delightful. We've had the pleasure of staying here for the past couple of days, and it's so easy to relax into Bright life here.
Absolutely. We're very spoilt where we're positioned at the moment and where you're staying. We're in the foothills of Mount Buffalo, so it's even more special. It's just the most relaxing environment which you would have experienced completely. So the cottage itself was built by its original owner many years ago, who built everything from recycled parts. And so they originally built it and lived in it themselves while they built their bigger house that's also located on the estate. But a nearby neighbour has recently bought it in the past 3 years, and that's where I took over it and added my little touches and the little experience factor here.
Yeah, it's so nice. Like different shaped windows, a mezzanine bedroom, windows on every side. So you really do feel like you're in amongst the trees. The bird life is extraordinary. It's such a lovely place to stay, and you can really, get the sense that you can see the mountains, but you're also in them. The ground slopes away on one side, and it's a really magical place to fetch up.
Definitely. I mean, you wake up in the trees, so the gum trees in those bedroom windows, waking up, and it's beautiful.
It is great. So, I mean, Bright Boutique Accommodation has a number of properties. Tell us about the kinds of things that you offer and how it all works.
Yeah, definitely. So I'm up to about 32 properties, which is a lot more than I ever anticipated. When I do say that there's a lot of properties that are based on the one side or create a really cool little hub of homes. So it's probably less when you talk about sites. I started it after working at Mantra Group Hotels in Melbourne after uni. Originally grew up here, moved down there, did that, enjoyed working for them, moved home, and quickly saw that there wasn't really a market for really unique bespoke places, and probably even that high-end side of things where you can create a little bit more of an experience for people. I definitely, probably over the past 5 years, more so during COVID, actually probably almost tripled how many properties I did take on and have, and created a little team surrounding me where I used to sort of be predominantly by myself. So created a little team which allowed us to take on a few more properties, and
What kinds of things do you advise your customers when they're wondering where to stay in the region?
Yeah, so have a really good think about what experiences you want to have or what you like. None of my properties are the same unless they're on the same side or owned by the same owner. So for us, it's about creating a completely unique experience, and that's definitely what you're getting here versus what you might get at one of our other houses in town. So I guess we say to people, a lot of people that do call inquiry-wise have already seen a property. We have a really good social media presence, and our photos and videos and a lot of live stuff, works really well for people to see. But if people are unsure and it's their first time to the area, it's talking about what they want to do. And then that's where we quickly work out what type of property is going to suit them, whether they want to be out here in amongst the bush and with nature. And that's where, you can come out here and have your full breakfast pack that we provide complimentary. Or if someone wants to be in town and they really want to immerse themselves in, everything everything that town is about, and all the restaurants and cafes and yeah.
What about for families?
Yeah, so we're really lucky. We've got some really beautiful family-friendly ones on our books. One of the original ones that I started with 10 years ago, our place at Bright, it's 4 beautiful little alpine cottages, and they share this really amazing garden and kids' playground. So the houses, there's 4 separate houses that sleep up to 28 people. So family-wise, it's the best hub. You can just jump straight on a bike and ride any which direction. That's probably a big part of our family side of things, is the cycling side of things. The fact that the river is just down the main street with the splash park, Nightingale's apple orchard. If you haven't ticked that off yet, it is amazing. They've got a great kids playground as well as their apple orchard and produce store as well.
And what sort of questions do you ask people if they're like, oh, I've heard Bright's great, but I don't really know why I would think about coming? You know, do you sort of, have you got ways to filter what people are looking for?
Yeah, definitely. I guess it's that interest. You know, what do you get out of a holiday? Are you an adventure seeker? Because there's plenty of that here. Are you just after something more relaxing? Is it a family? Working out the dynamics of the group as well. We get a lot of multi-generational families come, and I think that's where for us it's really being, you know, conscious of making sure that what we recommend, whether it be the houses and activities to add on to the houses, suit everybody within the family.
And what kind of feedback do you get? Like, what surprises people about Bright and the region?
That we should have got them to stay longer. And it's amazing this time of year, and we find it really hard at Christmas because it's so popular, but it's this time of year, every person that stays that might just do the minimum 2 nights end up adding an extra night. So that's probably the feedback we get. People get frustrated that they can't fit everything in, and I guess you come thinking it's this cute little, you know, small town that it is, but there is too much and so much to do. So yeah.
What are some of your favourites? Like, what do you steer people towards?
I definitely, not that I'm very good at it, and everyone would definitely giggle on my team, as well as Ride High Country know that I'm not very good at it, but the cycling side of things. I mean, I'm not a big rider myself other than leisure, but it's something that probably during COVID where we weren't able to do much, I jumped on a bike with my partner and we were just doing random little, very leisurely rides, certainly, you know, but that's definitely something that it puts a laugh on your face. You get to see so much that you forget about, and you get quite complacent when you are living here. So being able to just jump on a bike is huge, to be able to see hidden areas. The river's a huge one too. I just remember as a child spending all my times there, and even when I lived in Melbourne or speak to guests now, and when they talk about, you know, that whole river concept, and as a kid that they've always holiday here and spent time at the river, that's something that you can't get in the city. You know, that's, you know, it's a really unique country experience.
And what was it like for you to grow up here?
Amazing. It's something that, it's such a broad region, and there's so many little towns that are skittled around, and I think as a child, because you all then go to the main hub schools, you get exposed to other kids from the other little areas, and, you know, especially being I was a farm kid, so being that bit extra out of town, there was just always so much adventure, so much to do. The weekends were always filled with either your sports or, you know, if we did play up here, you know, be it netball or football, you kind of came up, but you made it a day, because then you were going to lots of the different sites that were up here because you'd made that short trip. So we live, you know, slightly out of town. Yeah.
And you mentioned you moved and worked in Melbourne.
Yeah.
I mean, did you have a plan? You know, was it like, let's get to the big smoke, or was it always about coming back here and working out a way to do that?
No, it's funny. As a kid, and particularly probably more when you hit high school, you're just like, I'm getting out of here. I'm free and I want to learn and whatever. And I definitely had some great experiences. I then probably really got in the rat race, and I loved my work, and then it just became work. And funnily enough, it was my sister moving home because she wanted to raise her children here, and they were getting to school age. And I lasted less than a year after she'd moved home, and missed them, missed her, but was watching their adventures and I started having those core memories come back. The thing that I do appreciate probably about going away and coming back is I'm not complacent anymore, and I do get really excited about all the extra activities, or just the views from different houses.
Oh yeah, you must see some amazing views, like different aspects on the region from the properties. Does it make you appreciate it in a new way?
It does very much, and I often tell this funny story. I had the pleasure of working with Janelle Marsden at Feathertop Winery, and I took over Accommodation a few years ago, And when I first walked into her main home that we were turning into a beautiful holiday house, and it's got an infinity pool that overlooks the winery and, you know, windows for days. But there are all these artworks on the walls that were all photos of Mount Buffalo. I took them all down because the windows, you're staring, much like here, straight at Mount Buffalo. And I think probably from living there, it got that, you know, you forget the beauty around you. So I think even despite being local and knowing what's around, to walk into someone's house and just see that view and get so excited that guests get to then experience that, it's, yeah.
And fresh eyes really do that. That's such an interesting story to be having the view, but then put up the images of the view. It reminds me, I've got a Dutch friend who left Holland to move to Australia, and she knew she was going to live in a regional area. The thing that she thought she would miss most about Holland was the cows, like these flat fields with cows. And she moved to Romsey, north of Melbourne, and put her treasured cow print up next to the kitchen sink, next to a window. And what was outside the window? Cows in a paddock.
Absolutely. That's it. Too funny.
Fresh eyes are, fresh eyes, fresh experiences. Definitely. And I suppose leading people to see the world in a different way must be very satisfying.
Definitely. And to be able to walk in and go, well, what do you want your guests to have experience-wise? And as I've mentioned to you, because we are about the experience factor, and that's the experience in the house, let alone in the region, it's been really nice to just walk into houses and go, what do we want people, what warm and fuzzies, you know, what are. And as soon as you do open the doors to some of these places, you know, between the views and the surrounding areas and the different features from the fireplaces in winter, and it's pretty special to create that for someone.
Love it. Well, you've told us about a couple of your favourite properties. I mean, the one that we're in and the one at Feathertop, but have you got another little gem that you can share with us?
I'm not allowed to have favourites. I'm really not allowed to have favourites. I love all of my houses, and as I said, they're definitely very unique. So it really depends on what you're sort of coming up for. There's a beautiful local couple that developed 2 gorgeous apartments right in town, but they give you this feeling. So they've built them quite high up where, same thing, you can sit on a couch and you're just in the trees. And so they're called the View Apartments, and they're really beautiful. And I think that same thing, you know, being local and seeing all these features and these great benefits of our town and what it offers, for them, they just knew exactly what they wanted to build and what they wanted to showcase, and it's definitely shown through what they've created. So it's definitely been a really popular one as well.
I love that. Well, it must be a pleasure for you to showcase their vision to visitors as well.
Yeah, definitely.
Priscilla, it's so great to be here in one of your properties. Thank you so much for welcoming us in and for telling us a bit more about what you do. I'm already planning my next trip to Bright.
Thank you. Look forward to having you back again.
This episode is part of a special Dirty Linen series celebrating Victoria's High Country. To plan your high country adventure, go to victoriashighcountry.com.au. Listen to all our high country episodes on Dirty Linen.
This is a Deep in the Weeds production.